Hey losers, ready to relax and watch some aberrant, vile opinions you've hopefully never heard to your face in real life?
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
Sorry to interrupt so quick, but I have to let you know that I get it. I don't like reviewing these women versus men type videos any more than you like watching them. Yeah, I promise I'd much rather feel inspired, or at least chill. I'd rather watch some anime. She's angry, she's argumentative, she's using emotionally charged language against an entire demographic of people. So why watch this? What's the point?
Like, why do you think you're lonely? You're lonely because we don't want to be with you. Because look at how pathetic you are.
Aw, look at how pathetic we are. The point, I guess, is bear with us. Bear with her. Humans are the worst. But don't you love them? I love them the most out of anything in the world. More than any place or animal. People can be so terrible, but they're my favorite. So, she's a person. I think her name is Butena. Her behavior is horrible. I'm not excusing that. But I'm sure as hell not gonna do this video swept up in her negativity. So watch us, watch her, without dying inside. And know that we can all do the same. Remember that it's okay to shrug in the face of the void and approach everything with a sound mind and a smile. I'm Phil. I'm Pierce. I'm Todd. And everything not saved will be lost. Safe to say, here are some things about romantic relationships that aren't lost. So here's what men had a problem with and why Butena made this male loser epidemic video in retaliation.
I posted a video talking about my standards and what I expect of men, which is basically just basic decency. You gotta be consistent, you gotta communicate, you gotta make straight up plans. I'm not just hanging out with you. It's gotta be at a nice restaurant, and on the second day I will ask you for a gift, and I'm not telling you what to buy me, but I wanna see your creativity, I wanna see how you court me.
Okay, let's unpack that. In dating, standards get thrown around a lot. Like, a lot. Even
basic decency
to her could be worlds apart from what other people perceive as basic decency.
Be consistent, communicate.
Yeah, we can agree those are basic.
Make straight up plans.
Fair enough, men generally lead on that. But some women make plans too, and it can still feel right.
I'm not just hanging out with you. Gotta be at a nice restaurant.
Okay, here we're venturing into territory some men may find demanding. Some women, or okay, maybe just a minority nowadays, maybe, are okay with a coffee or lunch date in the day. Low pressure, low stakes, in-person vibe check. That's more chill.
Ask you for a gift.
Now perhaps my male loserness is showing, but that's definitely entitlement. Hey, real quick, subscribe. Here's the video before her retaliation for context of what she meant with the gift.
A lot of you ladies ask me how it is that I get gifts on the second date. You have to determine whether or not you want to go on the second date with them.
Even if she didn't intend it, the focus of the date has shifted to getting a gift. Usually we think the focus should be on connecting emotionally with a potential partner, especially at the stage when two people barely know each other. But making it almost a goal to get a gift feels very transactional. Like, it's less about the emotions now and more about the material gain. In order to spend more time with her to get to know her better, which is what every budding romance needs to flourish into a relationship, she requires a gift. Huh?
When they ask you for a second date, a lot of guys will try to close it on the first one if they're smart. And you can do this. This is how I do it. I've had so much fun with you. This was really great. Thank you for treating me. It was very sweet. I love this restaurant. And I will go on a second date with you. However...
By the way, Butena's style of content is advice to women. To some extent, she's teaching them her methods of playing the dating game. No doubt, dating is a sort of game with implicit established rules that most players understand. I get that perhaps some mind games are unavoidable, but I don't know how to feel about advice that encourages more mind games, because it's kind of like we're going backwards.
And I'll like kind of lean back and I'll take a look at them and I'll be like, I don't know, I'd go home if you didn't go big, so. You want my attention, don't you? And they're like, they'll melt, okay? Like, you're not telling them, you're telling them, but you're like seducing them, okay? And you gotta like use your eyes. You gotta just like siren it, okay? Like.
Do I think her tactics actually work? Doubt. But anyway, I thought the point of progressing and becoming more aware of genuine human connection and how that works was to minimize the mind games. Yes, I do think that dating is like a sort of dance. There is flirting, there is physical touch with consent, there is reading the room, but I don't think it becomes any less romantic if we evolve toward being more open with each other, with less fear of an immediate ejection from the game, more freedom from judgment or rejection. At the very least, having the willingness to communicate when things don't align or even when they go wrong creates a much healthier environment overall, right? Whether it's parting ways or building that long-term romance.
I do expect a gift. I want to see how creative you get. I want to see you work for it. So you can get me anything you want. I don't care what it is. Well, I do, because I'm gonna judge. You need to impress me. And they're like, they'll usually ask, okay, like, what type of gift? I'm not telling you what to buy me, but I want to see your creativity.
So it's a bit contradictory that she says communication is basic, then implements this unspoken expectation of getting the right gift. It's like having to read her mind, which is harder than reading the room. That doesn't sound very communicative. Anyway, back to more of the retaliation video.
I have standards. I also date high net worth individuals because that's my circle. That's who I hang out with. That's who I am. I make a lot of money, so I'm gonna hang out with people who also make a lot of money, because it's about the mindset, because we're always trying to work on each other.
Hey, is it working on each other if we encourage each other to become, more minimalist? Like, oh, how do we become more grateful for the privileges we already enjoy? Isn't lifestyle inflation just an unending trap of chasing pleasure? And wouldn't it be cool if we all understood what it means that perfection isn't when there's nothing more to add, or when there's nothing left to take away? No? So if it's not about a lot of money, it's not a good mindset? Correct, Phil. Bad mindset. Bad philosophy. Wrong. No detachment allowed. Anyway, putting Phil's wacky modern monk mentality nonsense aside, I guess Butena spells it out pretty clearly. It's a wealth class thing. So, oops, if we're losers who are much closer to the bottom of the rat race, not business owning, not passive incoming, our mistake for not dating within our class like it's 1789. Comprendre?
And these men went crazy in the comments. So I think it's just ridiculous that these bitch-ass losers are sitting there. You don't have anything to offer. You are what we're all running away from. You are lonely because you're a mother loser. Like, it's embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed for you, and it's like most men too. Like, it's literally most men. Most men are losers, and they know it.
Okay, so that was a lot of emotionally charged language and tone. Lots of insults, swearing, rage, aberrant, vile opinions that I hope you've never had to hear in real life, because that'd mean you've got some pretty socially maladjusted people around you. It says a lot about how she feels toward the situation. I mean, is it just me, or is this kinda sad? As in, isn't what she's going through kinda sad? Sad that she has to react like that to things that don't really matter, and then propagate that energy. Sure, it's the internet at the end of the day, but it is concerning how the virtual world breeds the exact problems we want to evolve from in the real world. People have a lot to offer each other that aren't gifts or monetary benefits. There's desire, empathy, there's emotional intelligence. She should take some notes on that. We all have stories to share. We all have passions that light up our eyes when we talk about them. We put in effort when we show up and try our best to recognize someone for who they are. We contribute our quirks and minds and hearts in a safe environment that we built together. We each possess things we haven't even discovered about ourselves that can be illuminated with the right connection from someone else. And we reciprocate in yearning and recognition, soul to soul. There's a lot people can give each other that isn't based on money. We get that money is a very real concern for most of us. It's rough out there, isn't it? Late-stage capitalism, ruthless pragmatism, earn a living or you don't deserve to be alive. But whatever we can't do to assist them as small, measly individuals to make things a little better, we can do to other small, measly individuals to make it a little better for them.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad.
So the male loser epidemic here is probably a play on words of the male loneliness epidemic, since she says,
"You're f***ing lonely because we don't want to be with you,"
with the keyword lonely being used here. Let's start by briefly pointing out a possible misconception here that male loneliness is solely about lacking romantic relationships. It's hard to keep track anymore, but there is undoubtedly an element of lacking platonic relationships amongst male adults. Anyway, I only have 2 notes. 1, be kind. 2, observing is fine. 1. Be kind. This applies to everyone regardless of gender. Whether or not you believe the male loneliness epidemic is real, if you weren't going to be kind or open-minded about someone's difficulties, are you really trying to add value to the conversation? Don't counter with that tough love or discomfort creates growth argument if you don't mean it. Be honest, are you sure you want men to get better? Or are you just taking the opportunity to beat people when they're down? Can we not do that? Because it's not tough love if there is no love, and discomfort isn't about growth if you don't care about their growth. People don't need you to be yet another source of discomfort, as if there isn't already enough in their lives to help them grow as it is. On to 2, observing is fine. This one's especially true if you're not male, not the afflicted group. It's definitely out of place if you, how to put it, hijack the narrative and center it around you, right? Because a conversation about men that isn't about women can exist. It's definitely still valid for other demographics to be a part of the discussion, but if I'm not wrong, outsiders on any issue in general have to come from a place of seeking understanding and tread with more consideration, since they can't directly relate to the group affected by the problem. I guess if we can help it, can we stop letting the negative energy and poisonous opinions on the internet pit women against men or just people against people, like we're not all already up against a lot? Can we try coexisting a little more peacefully? Possible?
Bitch. Off. I don't care about you, okay?
Don't worry, I think Phil and Todd are soft as too. But pretty much, even if all faith in humanity and hope for the future has crumbled into rubble, which it still hasn't as of now, where's your sense of humor? Dust yourself off, shrug at the void, and don't participate in the problem, especially if you're not part of the solution. Best before dead. Here at LTAp, we make content about what it means to live well, as a kind of answer to everything. There could be billions of different interpretations to this, since ultimately everybody gets to decide for themselves individually. But if you're interested in our suggestions, you could stick around with us. We have a lot to answer. For a friend.